It's not Chris.
Welcome to WSN's The Zone on Fox. I'm Manny Melito. Alongside me is Jerry Mercado. Good to have you back next to me there, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you. It's been a while.
It has, a little bit. Hey, we're talking about the Big Nine this week, the Big Nine preview, and I know some of you are thinking, wait, we had the Big Nine preview. No, that was Mid-Columbia Conference.
Yeah.
This is the Big Nine. New conference, same old faces. We split off a little bit there. We explained it kind of last week. But we're going to go into more detail for just the Big Nine. Jerry, talk about the makeup of the Big Nine this year.
Well, I think that the only difference is, aside from the Tri-City teams leaving, and obviously Walla Walla's gone, you still have Sunnyside there, which is the only 3A team. Eastmont moved up to 4A. So I think you're going to see some good rivalries, especially between Eastmont and Wenatchee. Davis, Ike, still there. And then, you know, through their schedule, since there isn't that many teams, they're going to play each other twice a year.
Hey, let's get right into these previews, Jerry. Let's make you earn your money right away. What do we got here? Eastmont coming up. What do we have from the Wildcats? They're a 4A team now, Jerry.
Well, let's have a look. Last year was definitely a year to forget for the Wildcats, a fairly young group that tried to establish an identity on the ground. Eastmont's biggest problem was stopping the run on defense. They finished dead last in the 3A division. This year, Eastmont will be moving to the 4A, and now the crosstown rivalry with the Wenatchee Panthers should make things very exciting. Lucas McGill, the son of head coach Doug McGill, will now be playing football on Saturdays for Whitworth, so the Wildcats will have some question marks at the quarterback position. I expect several players to share the football in the running game, a running back by committee approach on offense, which should help their defense by chewing up the clock and less turnovers. And in a wide-open Big Nine, who knows? Maybe they can get back to their winning ways. So some questions there about the Eastmont Wildcats. Let's take a look at the Moses Lake Chiefs. The Moses Lake Chiefs will be led by head coach Todd Griffith. In 2011, they were 1-5 in league play. The past couple of seasons, Moses Lake has struggled on both sides of the football. Last year, Moses Lake was second to last in offense and dead last on defense. This year is an opportunity for Moses Lake to have more luck. A lot of their young core talent is still there. Now it's time to put those pieces in place and try to pull it all together this year. They have two young DBs that could be considered amongst the top in the division, between Trino Rubio and Cameron Law. Law will also be asked to carry the load on offense as well, as you may see him get carries at running back or split out at wide receiver. Quarterback Justin Simmons has shown some flashes in the past. Will he have enough time to get the ball down the field will be the main question.
When we come back, we're going to take a trip up the Yakima Valley, plus so much more to come, power rankings, all that good stuff. So stay tuned to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Manny Melito, Jerry Mercado breaking down the Big Nine. That would be Wenatchee, Yakima, Moses Lake, Sunnyside schools. Let's head to Yakima. The Davis Pirates, they lost quite a bit. Are they going to be back in action this year?
Well, it's tough to repeat making history, especially school history, but let's have a look. After making the playoffs for the first time in the school's history in dramatic fashion, how will they fare this year? They have a young nucleus, and they have giant shoes to fill at quarterback. Dion Wright was not only WSN 2011 first-team selection at quarterback, but statistically, he is the greatest Davis quarterback of all time. He has graduated and moved on to Western Oregon University. Now steps in young Elias Moctezuma, an all-league selection as a pitcher for Davis as a freshman. Now as a sophomore, he will be a solid quarterback for Davis for the next few years. Wide receiver is another huge void, as they will be missing 3 stars that have all moved on to play at the collegiate level. Cooper Kupp went to Eastern Washington University, Chris Chapman went to Western Oregon University, and David Trimble is playing basketball at Seattle U. Senior Carlos Pierre Vajaro will have to bolster a young, talented squad with big play potential. Mikhail Lazat showed the quicks on the basketball court. Can he translate that to the football field? Carlos Pierre Vajaro has been one of the top DBs over the past couple of years. This year, I'm willing to put him at the top of the list. He may even be the best wideout as well. In order for Davis to be successful, they'll need to significantly improve their line play.
So yeah, Davis looking not too bad, but you know, they're the Pirates, but it looks like their crosstown rival, the Cadets, have the actual cannon, Colney Castle.
The Eisenhower Cadets are led by head coach Dan Iman. They were 5-1 in league play in 2011. Last year, Ike had the most efficient passing attack behind SMU commit Colney Castle. He had help from an outstanding year by wide receiver Denzel Jones. Jones is gone this year, but junior wide receiver Ridge Harmon is a very promising candidate to fill that slot. Protecting Colney will be the main challenge, as he has suffered a couple of injuries over the past 2 years. Offensive line and all first-teamer Mike Jones has graduated, but like in years past, this is where Coach Iman makes his money. He and his staff are one of the best at developing offensive and defensive linemen, so there should be no surprise when some of the younger guys start to make a name for themselves. In order for Ike to be successful like in years past, they'll have to find a standout running back to take the pressure off of Colney Castle and the Cadet passing game.
Ike always seems to have those names that come out of nowhere, but I tell you what I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the hot dog contest this year.
Hey,
I'm feeling pretty good about my chances.
He always stars that date on his calendar a year in advance. As soon as he gets done with one, he's starring the next one.
Yes,
That's how it is. Hey, talk about a mascot that could devour some hot dogs. The Grizzly Bears. That's right, Sunnyside. Jerry, the Grizzlies are looking pretty good this year as the only 3A team.
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look.
The Sunnyside Grizzlies are led by head coach Mark Morrow. They were 2-5 in conference play in 2011. Sunnyside actually had the third-ranked offense behind Kamiakin and Southridge in 2011. They had more yards on the ground than the Kennewick Lions, and they had a scrappy football team. The record does not reflect how well their season was. Joseph Contreras established himself as one of the best DBs in the league as he led everyone else with 5 picks. He was also the Grizzlies' main target on offense. Along with Contreras, Eduardo Salmarón and Ramon Hernandez are a duo to look out for. This quarterback and running back tandem will have defensive coordinators pulling their hair out. Salmarón is a pure athlete that will sling the ball quite well, but his ability to run is what makes him special. Be on the lookout for Austin Carmen on the offensive and defensive line. He was a kid I studied on film last year, and he does a tremendous job. He is quick off the line, very aggressive, and has a high motor on defense. I look for Sunnyside to make a lot of noise in the Big Nine this year.
When we come back, one team left to go. Could that have anything to do with the power rankings? I don't know, because they're all about Jerry Mercado. So the Wenatchee Panthers coming up, plus your power rankings. Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Manny Melito, Jerry Mercado. One team left, purple and gold, and we love to go to their games all the time up at the Apple Bowl. The Wenatchee Panthers. They've been strong last couple of years. Are they going to keep their dominance in the Big Nine?
A lot of young talent. Let's have a look.
The Wenatchee Panthers are led by head coach Scott Devereaux. Wenatchee had its share of ups and downs last year. They battled but ended up losing a 3-way playoff. They were a young, talented group still trying to get their feet underneath them. This year, Wenatchee has a ton of talent. Isaiah Brant Sims is coming into his junior year and has gained interest from all over the country. He is blazing fast, and this year he is poised to break out as one of the state's best talents. Cody O'Connell is committed to WSU, and he has worked hard to improve his mobility on the offensive line. At 6'9" and around 300 pounds, that would be a big NFL lineman. Ryan Osterlin will also bolster Wenatchee's line, as the Panthers will have a high-powered running game behind Spencer Smith, Isaiah Brant Sims, and Blake Aguilar to carry the load. Dylan Sugg is one of the bright quarterbacks on this side of the mountains. During the summer, he has become much better and has shown a lot of maturity in Wenatchee's offense. Wenatchee will be looking to fill the shoes at wideout left by Connor Black. Also look for standout defensive players like Drew Holmberg and also Tyler Lyon. In order for Wenatchee to get better, they'll need their young, talented players to step up to become one of the state's best teams.
All right, so the Wenatchee Panthers, you hold them in pretty high regards there in the preview, at least.
That's right.
Power rankings now. You got your top 3. I need to hear them right now.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You talked about the cannon from Colney Castle. Well, him and his Eisenhower Cadets are number 3. Number 2, Eduardo Salmarón, Ramon Hernandez, all those guys at Sunnyside. I think they're ready to put it together this year. They're number 2. And number 1, we just talked about them. All that talent. In fact, I've got them in my state rankings. Where at? We'll see later on in the show. But number 1, the Wenatchee Panthers.
Wow, there you go. So we did tease that right. We had the Panthers last because they're our number 1 team. We've got the top 20 players coming up, and you talked about your state rankings. That'll be after the top 20 players. Let's take a look at these guys, though.
Washington Sports Network Big 9 top 20 players list. Number 20, Nikhil Lazat, off the basketball court onto the football field. Running down the rest of the list here, Elias Montezuma, Austin Carmen, Trina Rubio, Trey Thomas, and Kyle Hoffman of Eastmont. Now let's look at numbers 14 through 10. Antonio Martinez, Ike, Rich Harmon, wide receiver at Eisenhower, Spencer Smith, Wenatchee, Cameron Law, Moses Lake, Ramon Hernandez from Sunnyside. Now we're into the top 10 here. Number 9, Eduardo Salmarón, Sunnyside. Number 8, Dylan Sugg out of Wenatchee. Number 7, Joseph Contreras, top DB perhaps in the league. And number 6, Nick Sells. And now let's head to the top 5.
Number 5, wide receiver and defensive back Carlos Pierre Vajaro from AC Davis. Speed, length, physical play, this is what makes a defensive back, and Carlos Pierre Vajaro has proven since his sophomore year that he's one of the best. Offensive and defensive lineman Ryan Osterlund broke out last year. After all the talk about Cody O'Connell, Ryan Osterlund is one of the best. At number 3, offensive and defensive lineman Cody O'Connell from Wenatchee, a senior, a gifted physical presence, a senior who has recently committed to WSU. He has the height and the weight to show that he is a collegiate star in the making. At number 2, athlete Isaiah Bryant Sims from Wenatchee, only a junior. This kid has the potential to be not only number 1 on this list, but maybe number 1 next year as a senior on everybody's list. At number 1, quarterback Colney Castle from Ike, a senior, committed to SMU. Colney can throw the ball 70 yards through the air, and he has a beautiful touch, tight spiral, and plus hit the deep out. One of the best quarterbacks not only on this side of the mountains, but in the whole state.
Welcome to the Washington Sports Network's The Zone on Fox. That's right, the Washington Sports Network. We cover not only the Big 9 and the Mid-Columbia Conference, we like to cover all of Washington.
That's right.
And before, there was only one spot that you could get state rankings from, and that was from the West Side, and they were completely biased. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to hire our own Jerry Mercado to make his own rankings. Look at that. Maybe a little bit biased, maybe not.
Well, the thing about us, Manny, is we get to see all the top dogs, the Bellevues, the Lakes. You know, there's not really another entity that gets to see all these top-ranked teams around the state. So I figured, hey, why not just put them in the rankings now?
Yeah, let's just do it. Why not? So let's jump right into these state rankings. We're going to go with the 4A first. And you've got Skyline in some pretty high hopes this year.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they have Max Brown. The guy's going to USC. He's been in all the top-level events around the country. This team has won state championships. They have all the talent coming back. You have to put them at that top spot.
All right, move down. Yeah, now we got our first Big 9 Mid-Columbia Conference team, the Chiawana Riverhawks.
The Chiawana Riverhawks in there, and then you also have Wenatchee. Those two will play each other this year. Chiawana will go to Wenatchee, and we will actually cover that game, so people will get to watch that game in Wenatchee.
Perfect. Excellent. Now, you know, you also got Richland in there somewhere, so let's not leave them out of this. We move over to the 3A, and Hanford is your highest Mid-Columbia Conference team.
Yeah, Hanford obviously weak in the passing game, but if they just stick to what they know, the run, and plus their defense, I think that they will be, you know, they have the talent to be the best 3A team and one of the top 3A teams in the state.
Okay, so the state rankings, there you have them.
Yeah.
Now, we've really been, you know, getting our dollars worth with you, Jerry, this week especially. We've got our week 1 picks, and we're going to put you to work again in this segment. What do you got for us?
Well, let's have a look. Manny, let's start with Richland at Southridge. Even though Southridge has some young talent, I'll take Richland. Chiawana at Hanford. I have to go by what my power rankings say, so I'll take Chiawana. Kennewick at Lake City. This is going to be a very tough game for Kennewick. Lake City is pretty good, but I'll still take Kennewick on the road. Pasco at West Valley. Tough game for Pasco. I'll take West Valley in this one. And then Walla Walla has a bye. Prosser at Kamiakin, Saturday at Lamson Stadium. I'll take the way it's been going the past couple of years, Manny. I'll take Kamiakin in that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That Kamiakin-Prosser matchup has been in the past. Anytime a Prosser team would come over and play a Big 9 team, it was really a tough game. But now, ever since the Tom Moore era has been over with, really the Big 9 has stepped back up into the spotlight in that matchup.
Oh, absolutely. Now let's get into some Big 9 matchups for this week, Manny. Starting with the first slate of games, Sunnyside at Grandview. Obviously, you know how I feel about Sunnyside. I think they're pretty good. I'll take Sunnyside in that game. Moses Lake at Walla Walla. Jonah Ho, Logan Reardon, all that talent there. I'll take Walla Walla. Ike at Wenatchee. Obviously, this is number 3 versus number 1 in the Big 9 power rankings. Wenatchee being number 1, so I'll take them to beat Ike in that first week. Eastmont at Davis. You know, this is really a flip of a coin here, but I will take Eastmont to beat Davis.
Wow, that's really a big matchup, that Ike-Wenatchee game.
Yeah.
Wow, can't wait to see the result of that one. When we come back, we're going to talk about our schedule this weekend for opening weekend football. We just gave you the entire schedule there. Now we'll let you know where we're at, and more to come on WSN's The Zone on Fox. Welcome back to WSN's The Zone on Fox. Manny Melito, Jerry Mercado. We're going to be here tomorrow night. If you don't know where here is, this is Fran Risch in Richland. Chiawana, Hanford facing off. Webcast 1, the A-team. Let's go.
That's right.
Hey, and then tomorrow or Saturday, Prosser, Kamiakin at the Lamp. That's going to be an exciting game. So join us for both of those. You can check us out on News Talk 870 KFLD Saturday morning, 10:30. What else? We got Twitters.
Yeah.
We tweet
Yeah.
all the time. At Manny Melito.
At Jerry Mercado, WSN, at Wall Sports.
We'll just put it on the bottom. I don't even know his anymore. He changes his name more than P. Diddy does. Or is it Puff Daddy or what is it now?
Exactly.
Who knows? There we go. Manny, Jerry, Zenny behind the camera. We'll see you next week. Go to bed. It's late.